Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show, CityClips Live. We cover all things related to Tallahassee business and tech and awesome events. And Chris Petley, thank you so much for joining us today. Feel free to unmute. I'm sorry, I can't, for some reason, it's not letting me, but there you go. So you have multiple hats, and I'm sure you'll do a better introduction of yourself, but for those of you who don't know, you are running the show behind a Tallahassee Soccer Club, and that's why we brought you on. And then you also work for Leon County Schools. So yeah, give us a quick intro, and then we'll ask you some awesome questions.
Yeah. First of all, good morning. I appreciate you all having me on today. I always love to meet like-minded folks who are just passionate about the city of Tallahassee, passionate about the community and identifying communities and giving them platforms. So I'm honored to be on this morning. Like you said, I'm Chris Petley. The president and founder of Tallahassee Soccer Club. We're going into our 6th season, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but it's a entity that I started from the dining room of my house, very much a community-run, volunteer-run minor league soccer team, but it's everything you would imagine with a minor league sport. So we can talk more about that as we go through, but I'm also the communications coordinator at Leon County Schools, putting in 15 years there as the communications officer, but also just helping to run a school district with 30,000 students in 40-something schools. It's a passion. The link between the both is both the community and just really endeavoring to empower young people. It's a passion of mine, always has been, always will be. So I'm excited to spend some time today and talk about that.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's amazing. Really welcome, Chris. We're so happy to have you here. Like we talked about earlier, we're really interested in any initiative that has to do with ecosystems, the different ecosystems in Tallahassee. And what I love about Tallahassee Soccer, I'm interested in any sustainable organization and the way that you guys have been sustainable, and actually you jumped in. Tallahassee Soccer Club, as I understand it, was started in 2018, and you guys are still ongoing. I know probably you've gone through a very difficult time through COVID and whatnot, yet you're still there, and you've been achieving great things ever since then. What would you think is the key to starting something, whether it's for profit or non-profit, but actually keeping it going and keeping it growing, even despite anything that happens in the market?
Yeah. You used a couple of the words that I use all the time in talking about our club, and one of them is sustainability, and that's really what we strive to do. Is we want to make sure we're here for the long term. But I think the two most important factors for anything that wants to follow a similar path as us is, one, to just start. I think too many times people come up with ideas, or they have a vision or something that they enjoy, and they just sit around and talk themselves to death. Just go out and start. When I originally had this idea, I had the idea because I read an article. The founder of Foursquare, the tech company, Dennis Crowley, he started a team up in New York, and he wrote basically what I call the Bible. It was an article that I read in May of 2017. It laid out the groundwork for how to start a local community soccer club. So I sent that email around to a bunch of my friends, and I just said, hey, why don't we have this here in Tallahassee? I've grown up, I've played soccer my entire life. I've chased the U.S. national team around the country. It's something that I was passionate about. I felt like I was well positioned in the community because I knew a lot of people, to just go have a conversation. So that's what I did. I spent the summer of 2017 meeting with as many people as I could, and I was just waiting for someone to say no, right? You just get out and start. And really, no one said no. And then when we had our first game, 700 people playing in our inaugural game. We played the Savannah Clovers, and back then we played across the street from Madison Social in I guess what people know as the parking lot, but it's also the intramural fields. And it was an amazing year, and we just knew right then and there that we were onto something. But I'll go back to what your original question was, is, I think for us, the pathway to sustainability is that this is our passion. No one in our organization makes a dollar. This is volunteer run, people who are passionate about the community, they're passionate about the sport, But in reality, in our 9-member board of directors, there are probably 4 people on our board of directors that couldn't tell you what offsides is. They don't know a thing about soccer, but they're doing it because of the community. And again, I think when you are going out into that community and you're telling possible sponsors and members that, look, I'm not making $1. This actually cost me money, but I think it's vital to become an asset in our community and provide a unique experience for Tallahassee. But as I mentioned in my introduction, it becomes a pathway for young people to play at the highest level there is in our country, at something that they like. And you talked about, Ali, these different, as I call niche communities. There are communities built around anything you can think of, but the fact of the matter is each one of them are vitally important to what you feel about your neighborhood, about your city. You have to find your community, whether that's soccer, whether that's roller derby, whether it's your culture and your ethnicity. Tallahassee has an array of opportunities for you to go find those people. So I think, trying to tie it all back up in a nice loop here, it's, you have to start. Just get off the couch, go start, whether that's starting something of your own or going to join something that you're interested in. Skateboarding. I mean, anything that you are interested in, I promise you there's 15 people that enjoy doing the same thing that you do. And you know what? We always talk about changing the world. That's such a big thing that humans really can't get their mind around. But when you really boil it down, what is your world, right? Your world is 15, 20, 30 people. And that's your everyday existence. So if you can identify, 10, 15 people that are interested in the same thing as you, weightlifting, boxing, I mean, it doesn't matter. You're going to find that, especially here in this city. And we're privileged to start day one focusing on community. And now 6 years later, that's what we continue to focus on. And whether our community becomes 1,000, 4,000, or 5,000, those are the numbers that we're interested in to be sustainable. We're not trying to find 100,000 people, right? We're trying to find 10,000 people that know about us and get 1,500 people to come to a game every Saturday. And if we do that, I think we become an asset, a long-term sustainable asset. I know I'm probably answering many other questions, but again, I'm a communications expert. This is what I do.
You're doing your job for us.
A long time, so I'll stop there. But I mean, I think that gets us started off.
No, yeah, it makes. You pretty much answered a lot of our questions, which is great, and it's helpful to anyone who's considering building a community. And that goes along with our topic for this week. And I have your website pulled up, so we'll share it throughout the process. One of the cool things too, which I've been following, is you probably have been following them too, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney, and their
yes.
whole.
Sorry, I'm adjusting this camera because it's bothering me. I'm sure it's bothering the viewers too. So there we go. That's a little.
Like what they did with that organization. Of course, it helps that they have like a lot of financial backing and everything. But it's amazing watching that story unfold and the economic development it's brought to Wrexham, right? And so in a small way, I feel like Tallahassee Soccer Club is also doing that, bringing a lot of visibility to globally because of social media. I think there's something to it because you also provide not only experiences for families during the summer and the community as well, but just because it is slow in the summer for Tallahassee and it does bring in business and there is economic development. So there's a lot of value in what you're doing there with the group, with the club. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. And again, that's what we strive to do. I mean, our games we have 5 or 6 home games from basically the middle of May through the middle of July. Kids 13 and under are free. We have food trucks out there. Everything we do is I believe super value driven. Our tickets are only $10. Even the merchandise we sell, it's value driven because you nailed it. It's about the experience. It's about all those kids. When you come to our games, the kids are running free. They're playing soccer on the gravel and the grass pits. They're running. They're chanting. We have a supporters group, just like you might see on Wrexham, where they're all yelling Wrexham, Wrexham. Right? We got folks called the Oldfields Battalion. they're lighting smoke grenades, they're banging drums all
Oh,
game
yeah.
long. And it evolved to where I now call the kids the Small Fields Battalion, because you get a group of those kids and they're chanting and they're waving the flags and they're having the time of their lives. That's what it matters to us. And again, the value and the experience, where other in any sport right now, you're going to go buy a jersey, it's going to be $90, $80. We're selling our jerseys for $39 because it's not about money, right? It's for us, it's about what does it cost to get our team to New Orleans twice? And then what is the least amount that we can make to cover those operations, right? We're not trying to pay me a salary. We're not trying to make money off of your experience. We just want you to come. We just want you to come out and cheer, because the next evolution is cheer for that kid that goes to Childs High School, or that went to Leon or Rickards or Gabi, that's playing on the field in front of you against the team from 400 miles away, right? Because so now not only are you experiencing being out there and you're a young one watching that, but now that you've got these kids that grew up here playing on the field. And that's what we're all about. Again, it goes back to community, experience, sustainability, all these, code words that we throw around, but what does that look like in real life?
Tallahassee soccer specifically, I think, has improved a lot over the last few years. And I think I didn't know why, but the more you talk about it, the more I hear the passion, the more I hear how you've generated all of this community and almost without any money spent on it. Now I understand like how such things can lead to major achievements, whether for the boys soccer or for the girls soccer, and just the popularity of the game overall.
Yeah, one of the things that we've tried to grow as we have evolved with our club is to focus on, again, we talk numbers, right? I think there's probably 3,500 families / players that are playing youth soccer in our area in Leon County. So your numbers are there, 3,500. But when you talk about those that really excel at the sport, what is it that helps them get better? It's playing against better competition. It's better coaching. It's better experiences. So as we've evolved with our team, what we've done is we've also now been able to bring in players that are playing Division I college soccer or that have been former professionals to come to Tallahassee. And over the last 2 years, we've been able to bring a high caliber level of players, and we've now partnered with Warner ASG Youth Soccer so that we can do camps and clinics and have our players become those coaches, so that those young kids, while are getting great coaching to begin with, they get to then see what an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old highly talented player looks like, what he talks like, maybe what they eat, what their skills are, and they get to see that so they can model that behavior. And we are building on that even more this year, where last year we had 5 or 6 Division I players come in from around the country. This year we have 9, and I appreciate you showing. You can see some of these guys with Jose up there, and then Yaz, and these guys that are coming from around the country. Adrian, we'll be announcing tomorrow. Austin, who played professionally with Madison Forward, he's coming to play with us this year. So that's all just part of the ingredients that build the cake, right? Is once you have a system where young people can see that, model that, interact with those players, watch them develop relationships, whether they're here next year or future years or not, they get to follow their careers. I'm going to keep talking, right? So we have had, right now, we had 2 players that were on our team 2 years ago are playing professionally in Michigan right now. Justin June and Pierre Pato, they're up there in Michigan getting paid to play soccer. Perhaps one of the biggest stories is former Leon High grad, Jaden Jones-Riley. He's playing now in the Portland Timbers organization, was drafted, went to Dayton. Look forward to Johnny Fitzgerald. I always try to say on the Wrexham analogy, Johnny's our Paul, right? Like Johnny's our guy. And he's looking to make that leap this year as well. So when we try to serve so many roles from our organization, is like, how do we then, again, get you as a youngster to see this, model this, then you get to college. Look, that's a goal. going to get paid to go to college. You're not paying for college and you can go play. That's a goal. But then staying involved in our organization, how can we help them then go get paid as a professional? So these are all the little things that we try to focus on. But again, I've got a 60+ hour a week full-time job and 2 kids, and everyone on our board has at least 2 kids. And, we're doing the best we can, but it's also important to realize we're just a grassroots team that, my dining room starting this week becomes the merchandise headquarters, and there's boxes everywhere, but it's exciting. I mean, it really is. I hope that answered some of the, how we're developing with local talent, because I think it all matters.
Yeah. I mean, I think just using Wrexham again, just because I watched the first season and just seeing how that community really supported them through ups and downs. And it's like one of the oldest teams in history, I think.
At least the oldest stadium, I think, in Europe. Yeah.
Right. And so it's the community that kept it going, even with the lack of funds. So I just see this definitely as a sustainable model. Just keep growing the community, and Tallahassee is only going to keep growing. Florida as a state is only growing. And so, just I could see if businesses start to see more value, which they should actually, and supporting organizations like yours through the summer, then I can just see like a lot of success, even more success than what you've had now. So
yeah, and I think that's the biggest, I don't know, say speed bump barrier. I mean, the fact that everyone involved has a full-time job, has a family. It's just getting to the mainstream, letting people know about us. I mean, that's the biggest issue we have, and especially the business relationships, because at the end of the day, I think that falls on me to be the outreach person. And that's just something that, sometimes I don't have that time to do. So I, again, appreciate any platform to get out and talk about that, because I think we do provide value and an audience of families, which a lot of businesses are targeting. We have their attention, right? Everyone's battling for attention. We have their attention for at least 90 minutes, 6 Saturdays every summer. And then even on our away games, as we begin this year to step up a lot of more watch parties, because all of our games are streamed, even when they're away. So we'll be at Proof as our main watch party headquarters, but Madison Social will be showing our games this year as well, home and away, and a lot of the other local sports bars, because I think that's how we grow. Is what better way to be, you're out there on a Saturday night, and this year some Wednesday nights, unfortunately, you're out to eat. You should be able to watch your local team as we're in New Orleans or Columbus or Miami. We are Tallahassee. It's on our chest, right? Like, this is what we do. We're about representing our local community.
Chris, I honestly really believe in this, and I see that this is going to become much, much bigger than what it is right now. What so far you've proven growth, you've proven popularity, and more importantly, you've proven sustainability, that this is going to happen year in, year out. What is going to happen next? Like, should this turn to be a for-profit? Like, sports is big. Sports is the most important thing for this town. Like, between football, between basketball, between baseball, stadiums are always full. People love Tallahassee when it has its name on any sports. And I think the same is going to happen for soccer. So what is going to happen next, and how can we be part of this? How can we make some money?
Yeah, well, I think, we have this philosophical conversation even on our board of directors all the time. And I will tell you, having now been in this role for 6 years, we've had some iterations. And I will say, some of my board may not agree, but I will say maybe a couple of years we lost our way, and we were very imperialistic, and we were very attracted to growth and becoming bigger. But I feel like I pulled us back a little. And in our first couple of years, I was very comfortable in that we knew who we were. And I think that's vital for any organization, business, profit, nonprofit. Like, know who you are. And we're a grassroots, family-run volunteer club. And we want to be long-term sustainable. I think, I'm very comfortable with where we're at. Would I love to have some more business sponsors to make it a little easier? Yeah, of course. But I think it's a cycle, right? I mean, we were very close to being over the air, signing an agreement with one of the local, TV networks. I think that would help generate more eyes, but then also more value for some businesses. Really, we're as transparent as it gets, and I alluded to it earlier. If at the end of the day we can have 10,000 people in our area legitimately know about us, not like, oh, I heard about, but like legitimately know about us. And if we get 1,500 paying tickets a game, we'll be here for the next 20 years if we hit those metrics. And I think I'm confident that that's the path that I would like our team to be on, because I think that's sustainable. We can continue to then focus on all those other ingredients that we talked about, because it's not just about profit or making money. Again, it's about reinvesting, and that's what we've done already. So we have reinvested, and we are launching a second team, not to confuse everybody, right? So we've got our team that will be playing in the NPSL. They kick off May 4th, but we're launching a second team that's going to provide a continued pathway for more of those local high school age players and some of our young professionals that just may not be able to make that first team. And they're going to kick off May 25th, play a 6-game season in something called the Gulf Coast Premier League. They'll be playing teams from Panama City, Pensacola, Alabama, all the way, I think, a little bit into Mississippi. But we've launched that team 2 weeks ago because we found a void of, again, access for some high school age kids that may want to get their development where it needs to be, so they can, round off their resumes for college coaches, provide more tape for college coaches so they can see them playing against high level talent. And so we're doing that. And that, I think that to us is the pathway. It's not necessarily growing everything. It's how do we provide more pathways and experiences for families and young people. So if we can hit those metrics of people literally knowing about us, know who we are, right, have an inclination to come to a game, that's more valuable to us. So we can find those second teams, and then maybe not to get you all into how leagues work with lower division soccer in America, but maybe have a year-round team. I think that to us, I think, is the pathway for us moving forward in the conversations that we have. It's not necessarily growing bigger or becoming professional. I think being where we are lets us have a little more fun and be a little, minor league-ish, right? I think when people have visions of minor league, they think in our country, they think minor league baseball and all the fun things that they do at those games, whether it's the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the Savannah Bananas. We try to emulate more of that freewheeling fun style, rather than focusing on magnifying profits.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was gonna mention Savannah's Bananas because that is another remarkable story about the founder, why they just started it. And it's a minor league baseball team, right? And they bring in a lot of outside visitors, like out of town visitors, millions of dollars as well, just by those entertaining games. So like I was thinking that kind of model would work potentially, because it's there's ups and downs for any team, like even just MLS, just watching all the different teams, but so much talent is there, and ticket prices are not prices, but attendance is up and down, because if the team's not performing well, who's going to show up?
Yeah.
So but if it's like there's a fun dynamic, there's a fun atmosphere, you got that culture growing, then you just want to go. You just want to go. It's a beautiful time out, even though it's hot and people come out. And I had a great time bringing my kids out there, and
awesome.
Even my daughter, who's a travel soccer player, she was really impressed by how good the players were still.
Yeah. And that's part of the process for us as well, is like, again, people now distinguish what they see on the field, right? So that's why we have continued to invest in bringing these high caliber players from all over the country. And like I said, we got a former professional who's going to be playing with us. We'll announce tomorrow in Austin. And, we may have a couple other things up our sleeve because it is discerning. So you've got, and I'm watching the time up there, so I'm keeping track of it for us. So you've got to try to find the balance between it all. But like I started it off, it is a every bit of not problems, but every bit of things that you have with a full-blown professional sports franchise we have. It's just run out of my kitchen with a bunch of volunteers. So that's kind of where we are.
I have a very small intuition that actually I think Chris, you have the feeling of, when someone starts a business, a lot of people say this, it feels like a child to them. And I feel like Chris doesn't want that child to grow too big.
Well,
but let me, I think someone will see so much potential in what you've built, and I'm not gonna say they're gonna buy it off you or something, but I believe in the city. I believe in their passion for sports. I believe in their passion for kicking way above their weight. Like, look at what the Seminoles have done last year, and the whole country was talking about them and whether they should be in the playoffs or not. Tallahassee, regardless of how small of a town it is, when it comes to sports, whoa. And I think soccer is no difference. You know what?
Yeah.
What the
Oh, yeah, we've got FSU women's team.
Yes.
Killing it. We're in the national limelight there. I mean, just
you're
even
next, Chris.
I hope so. I think we're you said people like to support winners, and I think we've got a good plan for this season. And last year we made the playoffs, went on the road, but I'm hopeful. Our goal is to host a home playoff game for the first time in our history this season, and I think that will be something pretty cool if we can pull it off.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of the season, you've got everything planned out. This is a lot of work that your team and volunteers have really, done so much to put together. And shout out to, I believe it's Grova Creative, that has done amazing work for branding and marketing and all the support they provide to Tallahassee Soccer Club. I really love the content that you guys push out too. And so, yeah, just as far as getting season tickets, guys, it's not that much to get season tickets or even just to go to a few games.
Yeah. If I could give the closing on that piece, I mean, essentially we're funded by memberships. We call them season ticket members. It's $85 for the year. You get season tickets. You get an exclusive member T-shirt. You get invited to access only events with our coaches. We got one coming up this Sunday, April 28th, where members only get to come practice with our team. And then we're doing a party at Proof afterwards for our preseason kickoff. But that's our number one funding mechanism. Whether you show up or not, you could just donate some money and support your local team. But find us at tlhsoccerclub.com. We're on every single social media platform you can find. And I really, really appreciate any support. Just follow along.
Yes. Awesome. Chris, thank you. And we would love to invite Tallahassee Soccer Club be a monthly partner, to help try to push, folks to just go visit your website, possibly purchase some season tickets. And we can talk about that backstage. And just so you know, this little button is a little slow. So hang tight when I end the stream. We would love to talk about that. And just would love to continue.
Thank you so much, Chris. This was amazing. This was informative. And honestly, this is going to be inspiring for a lot of people who will start off other communities. Really, thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah, no, I hope so. I mean, I think the lower division soccer community is close-knit. I talked to people from San Francisco to Tulsa, helped the team up in Albany actually get kicked off originally. So if we could be of any help, please, please, please reach out. I'd love to share the story and help anyone in any way.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys on the other side.